Her eyes met mine with the kind of precision that could cut straight through bone. And when she spoke, it was as though she'd rehearsed every syllable to leave no part of me standing. "He's nothing like you in any way." There was no tremble in her voice, no hesitation, no trace of guilt clinging to her words. Just clean, clinical certainty. Those 6 words unraveled everything we'd once built: love, trust, all of it like parchment catching flame. And what made it crueler wasn't how she said it, but that she meant every word. We were sitting in the same corner booth where we once traced dreams across napkins and drank to forever with chipped ceramic mugs, same flickering overhead light that had watched us fall in love, same floral curtains stained with time. I had hoped she asked to meet so we could repair something, even a fragment, maybe thread together what was fraying before it tore completely. But she hadn't come to heal. She'd come to bury us. Her tone was composed, almost sterile, as if she were a surgeon explaining the necessity of amputation. No tears, no remorse. She adjusted the cuff of her sweater with a calmness that was almost surreal and said, "I didn't mean for it to happen, it just did." Then came the blow that hollowed me out. "He stirs something inside me, you never did." I searched her face for the smallest crack, for a flicker of doubt, a shadow of the girl I once knew, the girl who used to whisper promises in that very booth. But her eyes were resolute, her hands still, and in that air laced faintly with peppermint. "Tea," her words carved through my chest clean as glass. Silence followed, dense and choking. It filled every corner of the diner, every corner of me. When she finally rose to leave, I stayed seated, anchored to the vinyl seat by a weight that felt permanent. I watched her reflection fade from the window as if it had never been real. I caught my own image instead, a man unmade, staring through the glass at a life already gone. The days that followed bled into each other, shapeless and colorless. I walked through them like a shadow, a dull echo of who I'd been. Food turned to ash in my mouth, thoughts scattered before they formed. Her voice saying his name played on a loop so loud it drowned out my own. People tried to pull me out of it. Friends arranged bar nights, bland comedies, drives with nowhere to go. But heartbreak doesn't yield to distractions. It waits for you in the quiet. It climbs into bed with you at night and settles at the foot, watching. Then one day I unlocked my phone, and there they were. He had his arm draped around her, effortless, confident, like she was already his. She was radiant, glowing in a way that hurt to look at. It was the same smile I once brought out of her, only brighter, like I had merely been a dim prelude to her awakening. A shadow before the sunlight. I spiraled, questioning everything. Was he more fearless, more thrilling? Was he the danger she secretly craved while I offered only steady hands and soft mornings? I didn't ask. I couldn't. Some truths don't just break you, they annihilate. But somewhere in that darkness I made a decision not to erase her. That would be dishonest. She was inked into my story too deeply. But I chose to rebuild, slowly and deliberately, from the ruin she left behind. I started walking. No destination, just motion. I picked up my old journal, pages yellowed but waiting. I went back to the gym, not for appearance, but to feel something beat within me. I blocked her profiles. I stopped checking for signs of her. I stopped hoping she'd return. Eventually, the world softened again. Coffee tasted less bitter. The morning sky stopped feeling like a betrayal. One day, I stood on my balcony as the city stirred to life, and without meaning to, I smiled. Not for anyone, not about anything, just smiled. That's when I knew I was no longer surviving. I was living. Nearly a year later, my phone buzzed. Her name lit up the screen like a ghost returned. "Can we meet?" My fingers froze, not with hope, but surprise. I agreed out of curiosity, not longing. We met at the same diner, same booth, same mugs, but the air was different. She looked dimmed, not older, just worn from within. Her smile was thin, her voice quieter, careful. "Thank you for coming," she said. I nodded, saying nothing more than I needed. "I thought he was better," she confessed. "He wasn't. He was chaos dressed up as passion. And by the time I realized what I lost, you were already gone." Her fingers reached across the table, unsteady. "I miss you. I know I don't deserve a second chance, but if there's even a piece of you that still believes in us." Her tears came suddenly, raw and unfiltered. Right there in the booth where we used to share pancakes and plans. But I felt no bitterness, no ache, just quiet. I'm not the man you left. I told her, I loved you. I gave you all I had. For so long, I imagined this moment, hoped for it. You saying these words. But now that you have, I paused. Her eyes searched mine with rising hope. I've realized something. I don't need you to be whole. Something inside her gave way. She crumpled, her shoulders shaking, her sobs muffled against her own hands. But I didn't reach for her. I didn't soothe her. For the longest time, I thought I needed closure, that it would heal me. But this wasn't closure. It was confirmation. I made it through. She wiped her face with the back of her hand, her voice barely holding. I hope life is kind to you. You too, I said, steady and sure. She stood to leave. The woman who once left me behind now departing with regret trailing her like a torn hem. She walked away slowly. I didn't follow. I didn't even watch. I didn't need to. I sat there, sipping the last of my coffee as it cooled in my hands. Then I stepped out into the afternoon light. The breeze brushed my face. It didn't sting. This time she once told me he was everything I wasn't. She left chasing fire. And nearly a year later, she came back not burning, but broken, and I didn't break.